don't know why anyone attempts to go to Mars. It never works out in these films. And David Lane's 1966 film I'm talking about is no exception. When the launch of a mission to Mars goes awry, the Thunderbirds Are Go. That's the movie I'm talking about, Thunderbirds Are Go. Let's begin. This movie request is brought to you by Christopher Baisley, who's an awesome supporter at patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. And because he's so awesome, I took the time to watch this hour-and-a-half flick, record a video review, edit it, and post it for your enjoyment. Or at least for Christopher's. Hopefully for Christopher's. Alright, let's talk about Thunderbirds Are Go. First of all, I'm familiar with Team America World Police. What I was not familiar with was Thunderbirds Are Go, or any of the other stuff related to it. There's TV shows, there's a movie sequel, there was another movie version in the 2000s. These all flew under the radar for me. Probably because they're miniature. Yeah, this is a film shot entirely with puppets and miniatures. And I have to say, it holds up really damn well. That comes with some major caveats, of course. The picture quality is still stellar. Colors pop, the miniatures look phenomenal. The puppets are great. Voice acting, it's a little sketchy. The pacing, it's a little bit off. You can tell that the director was very proud of the stuff that his team built. And he should be. It all looks really solid. But as an example, it takes a good 10 minutes for this movie to even fire up. It's so proud of itself. All the miniatures get plenty of time to kind of roll down the runway. Little booster engines are firing up. We get close-up zoom-in shots of different little materials and items that they put together. It's fun, but at the same time, I don't need to watch the ship go through space for 15 minutes. So as I open with, the movie centers around a mission to Mars that goes wrong because there's a saboteur amongst the team. He reveals a mask like he's in a Mission Impossible film, which I believe the show came out the same year, right around that this movie did. So the mask thing was really popular. 2 years go by and a rescue team is formed. Thunderbirds Are Go once more. They're gonna head out, try to find out what went wrong. Another sabotage takes place. It is kind of avoided. There's a big action set piece. Planes are crashing, stuff's blowing up. It's frantic, it's chaotic, and it's entertaining. Halfway through watching this film, my 11-year-old son noticed what was happening, and he was intrigued, and he came over and finished it with me. He was laughing pretty hard at just how it was presented. He's never seen a movie like this before, where you have puppets kind of awkwardly turning, their mouths don't move that much, they have this blank expression on their face. It's silly, and it's also impressive at the same time. It kept him engaged, it kept me hooked. Some of the characters I felt kind of blended together. I also wasn't really sure who the main protagonist was. It kind of jumps between a few different character arcs, with Alan really being the focus in the second half. There's one scene that feels a little out of place, and I was kind of waiting for it to be over, and that's a dream sequence where Alan is having this magical fairy tale moment at the Swinging Star with his love-to-be Penelope. I didn't mean to rhyme that. I pointed out the amazing visuals, the creativity is on full display here. Of course, by the end of the film, Alan's gonna get his wish, and he really is gonna go on that date with Penelope. It's a magical time for everyone involved. And you know what else is magical? Again, the visuals on this are really creative. They're very different than anything else out there. I can totally see why the South Park creators took inspiration from this flick when they made Team America. I want to rewatch Team America now just to see how close it really is to, because I remember in World Police, some of those shots and some of those characters looking very similar to what we have here. There's this really interesting diorama look to everything, soft focus in the background, really making the foreground characters pop. And the overall feel of the movie is that a director really just liked playing with his toys. It is the 60s, so there are some hokey zoom-in camera shots. It gets a little aggressive at times. It's like, I don't need to keep zooming into the yellow moon. Okay, we get it. There is one song during that dream sequence that is actually pretty pleasant and catchy. It's the saving grace of that sequence for sure. Most of these puppets are really impressive, except for one. And that's Penelope's limo driver, Parker. It looks like he was maybe made by the C-Team, or he was pulled in from a different movie franchise, and they're like, we don't have time to really make Parker look like the rest of them, so he's just scary beyond all belief. He also says "my lady" after every single sentence, which I found hilarious. "Where are we going, my lady? Look out your window, m'lady. M'lady, m'lady.
I thought it was too good to be true, m'lady.
He's essentially the one Mega Bloks inside of a Lego build. We don't want that. So everything visually outside of Parker is on point. The music is great too, really brings you into the spirit of things. I will say the voice acting is a little rocky. Some of the actors sound like they're just reading lines off of a piece of paper and not really putting any emotion into it, which, when you're talking about a movie where you have puppets that basically don't blink or move their faces at all outside of some mouth movement, you really have to go extreme with the voice work. You really got to bring us into these characters to get some of the feel of them. Otherwise, it's really just kind of like, okay, the stock character, they're NPCs at this point. When Christopher, much like a lot of other Patreons, recommended a movie of this type, of this magnitude, where I had not even heard of it, it seemed incredibly out there as far as what it was doing, I was very hesitant. I was a little scared to fire this up. I totally understand, though, where he's coming from. For me, I wouldn't personally recommend this to anyone that's not a movie fan, that's not someone that likes to watch all sorts of different types of flicks. I'm not going to say, hey, Mom, you got to watch Thunderbirds Are Go. But I will recommend this to people in my audience who definitely do like to try out new things, test the waters in different film mediums. This is really a blueprint for a lot of films we see now. I mean, the Lego movie, the Barbie movie, you can see inspiration pulled from here, even if they don't realize it, especially in Lego. There's some shots in Thunderbirds Are Go, specifically the beach scenes with that water up close that's real, and then you have a fake background, that look like they were pulled directly into the Lego movie in some of their shots. So yeah, it's still relevant to a lot of movies coming out today. Plus, I love a good hour-and-a-half film. Even something that's mediocre to bad can still be a kind of pleasant experience. Now, I don't think this is bad. I'm not even sure I'd say it's mediocre. I do, however, think at an hour and a half, you could have even pulled this back more, shaved off a good chunk of those kind of slow-moving vehicle shots that don't really add anything visually or to the story, and you have a great movie here. As it stands, we got people playing with some really fun toys. It looks good. No complaints. All right, thank you, Christopher, for the review. Thank you to all Patreon members at patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies and right here via the YouTube join button. I've changed how the Mithril membership works now. It's still, I think, a really great value for new people coming in. I have a massive list of terrible movies that I will roast. So if you become a Patreon member, you get to produce one of those films and say, hey, Adam, I want you to destroy Baby Geniuses too. And for 15 to 25 minutes or however long it goes, I go through the whole movie, present plenty of clips, present plenty of commentary, and I think it's a win-win for both parties. But Christopher was an early adapter, so he gets to pick whatever he wants. I tip the hat, and we move on with the channel. That's Thunderbirds Are Go. Let me know if you've seen this gem from way back in '66. Leave a comment, please like the video, and subscribe if the algorithm somehow brought you here, because you were online going, who in the world is talking about Thunderbirds Are Go? Let's find out, and then one result comes up, and that's me. And that's me. All right, take care. Hopefully, I see you next time.